Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for those 1970s musical artists who hit and quit the Billboard Hot 100 with a singular defining tune. Number 10, Tighter Tighter, Alive N Kickin. The psychedelic rock scene of the 1960s and 70s was often notable for its hard-edged fuzz guitar and wild musicianship. At the same time, however, groups such as Alive N Kickin combined legitimate pop hooks with commercially viable psychedelia to create a hit. Tighter Tighter was one of those flashes in the pan that climbed to number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 back in 1970. The tune was co-composed by a certified legend in the form of Tommy James, who had miles of credits to his name. As a result, Tighter Tighter is a pop psych gem in the mold of Janis Joplin with Big Brother and the Holding Company. A horn section backs up a killer groove, while some heavier guitar accents a big-sounding chorus. It's great stuff. Number 9, It Never Rains in Southern California, Albert Hammond.
Got on board a westbound 747.
Albert Hammond has achieved more than his fair share of hits. They're just not usually credited to him as a solo artist. Nevertheless, this prolific songwriter achieved success on his own terms back in 1972 with It Never Rains in Southern California.
Seems it never rains in Southern California.
The tune is one of those story songs that was immensely popular during the 1970s. A tale as old as time about a young and hungry artist with big dreams. Unfortunately, the protagonist of It Never Rains in Southern California finds out the hard way about how sometimes those same dreams can wind up in a Skid Row gutter. The song's actual composition belies this negativity, however. A melodic and sunny pop song with impeccable production and Hammond's strong vocals.
It never rains in California, but girl, don't they warn ya.
Number 8, In the Summertime, Mungo Jerry. Success found Mungo Jerry largely outside of North America. This group actually had 8 top 40 hits in their native UK, yet it's In the Summertime that remains Mungo Jerry's primary musical calling card.
Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.
Perhaps it's the tune's skiffle arrangements that made In the Summertime so popular in Britain, since that style of folk music became so prevalent in that area. Elsewhere, In the Summertime feels evocative of those hazy and lazy days, a non-aggressive tune that celebrates rest and relaxation. This is despite modern critical appraisal of the song's lyrical content, which some have labeled as problematic.
Sing along with us, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, da-da-da-da-da, yeah, we're happy.
Number 7, Seasons in the Sun, Terry Jacks.
Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10.
With Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks, the fatalistic energy of the source material feels omnipresent.
Goodbye, my friend, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky.
This isn't necessarily a bad thing, since this take on Le Moribond by France's Jacques Brel still feels melancholic, just with a semi-brightened reworking by Jacks.
We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun.
The latter tooled around with the lyrics to make the story of a regretful and dying man feel more optimistic. Meanwhile, the overall musicality of Seasons in the Sun feels roughly analogous to Jacks's former work in the psychedelic pop mold with his wife Susan and the Poppy Family. It's a spooky, ghostly tune that's probably not as depressing as it could have been, yet still feels indicative of the anything goes sentiment of 1970s pop radio.
But the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. All our lives we had fun, we had seasons in the sun.
Number 6, Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes, Edison Lighthouse.
She ain't got no money, her clothes are kind of funny, her hair is kind of wild and free.
The music business is exactly that. a business, with lots of groups coming, going, and being forgotten. Edison Lighthouse may not be a name immediately recognized by everyone, but those of a certain age will likely remember their huge hit from 1970.
Because love grows where my Rosemary goes.
Well, maybe that isn't entirely accurate, because Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes was initially recorded by pop singers Jeff Turton and Tony Burrows, the latter alongside some session musicians. The surprising chart success of this version necessitated the formation of a quick group to take advantage. Enter the local group Greenfield Hammer, who became Edison Lighthouse, and this hooky pop rock tune entered the chart chat for good. Number 5, Ring My Bell, Anita Ward.
I'm glad you're home. Now did you really miss me?
The disco era was in no shortage of blink and you miss them hits. This isn't said to necessarily disparage the genre, but disco chart success was often fleeting. Yet this is also why so many disco defenders still appreciate hits like Ring My Bell from Anita Ward.
You can ring my bell, ring my bell.
These tunes have endured to the modern day without that retro irony that's accompanied many other novelty tunes from the era. Instead, this jam can still be found in clubs today thanks to clear as a bell, pardon the pun, production from songwriter Frederick Knight.
Ring my bell, you can ring my bell, ding dong, ding dong.
Ward's work on the chorus is particularly memorable, with just enough kitsch to be fun, while definitely evoking a certain time and place, one where dancing and fabulous fashion ruled the day.
You can ring my bell.
Number 4, Wildfire, Michael Martin Murphey. The story of Michael Martin Murphey is one of those where his legacy as a one-hit wonder arrives with an asterisk. That's because this country and western artist has achieved other chart success. It's just that he's primarily associated with the 1975 hit Wildfire. Murphey had formerly been a part of the psychedelic folk rock group the Lewis and Clark Expedition, and this experience of composing more progressive-minded music served him well. The arrangements of Wildfire are smooth but never boring, and contain interesting guitar licks that drive home satisfying melodies.
When there came a killing frost, and the pony she named Wildfire.
Meanwhile, the warmth of that chorus feels thick like molasses and sounds capital S 70s in the best way possible.
She ran calling Wildfire. She ran calling Wildfire.
Number 3, Dancing in the Moonlight, King Harvest.
We get it almost every night. And when that moon gets so big and bright.
The influences of the French-American act known as King Harvest ranged from pop and rock to folk, but it was their take on this 1970 track from Buffalongo that eventually became their biggest international hit.
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's feeling warm and right.
There's an irrepressibly funky groove present on King Harvest's Dancing in the Moonlight that makes it virtually impossible not to, well, dance.
It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight.
It's a wonderful mix of upbeat drumming and that all-time classic keyboard intro. It's one of those tunes that you may hear at a cool supermarket, but don't think for a second Dancing in the Moonlight is mere muzak. This song still jams.
Everybody's dancing in the moonlight.
Number 2, Mr. Big Stuff, Gene Knight.
The big stuff. Who do you think you are?
Patient and dedicated crate diggers already know that the world of soul music from the 1960s and 70s can be a paradise of one-and-done obscurities.
Never give my love to a broke guy that has a love that's oh yeah.
Mr. Big Stuff from Gene Knight doesn't exactly fall into that category, but it was the only major hit for which the singer was known.
Mr. Big Stuff. You're never gonna break my heart, Mr. Big Stuff.
Knight's single and album of the same name for Stax Records is basically Soul Music 101, a poppy and catchy tune with a recognizable hook and economical arrangements. Knight's voice is in charge, possessing strength as she evokes an almost effortless sense of cool. Mr. Big Stuff is one of those songs that always seems to appear on greatest hits compilations from this era, and with good reason. It is an absolute classic.
You never gonna break my heart.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Vehicle, the Ides of March. It's known by a number of names. Call it horn rock or even jazz rock, but there was definitely something in the water back in the 1970s. Something that emerged after Chicago's debut LP from '69, where more rock groups started incorporating brass into their arrangements. The Ides of March was one of those groups, and Vehicle was their big song. The song was the fastest-selling in the history of Warner Brothers Records up until that point, a hyper-energetic horn-dominated anthem that screamed 70s. Vehicle boasts a gritty vocal from guitarist Jim Peterick and a brassy hook to die for. It's time capsule stuff, sure, but almost certainly a defining tune that got heavy replay from just about every aspiring lounge act in town.
Great God in heaven, you know I love you.
Do you celebrate one-hit wonderdom like we do? Shout out your favorite obscurity in the comments.
We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time.